That's useful to know. So here we go. Now, please welcome our second guest on tonight's show. She hails from the land down under and the voice, if not equal, to the very lovely Catherine Jenkins. It's Cassidy Rae. Yay! Hiya, Cassidy. How you doing?
I am doing well, lovely. How are you doing?
I'm good, and enjoying the full show that I've done so far, and along with all the great music played tonight.
Crazy busy, my friend.
So for people who haven't met you before, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Sydney, born and raised. I'm actually a singer-songwriter. My parents raised me on the thought, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And they worked incredibly hard to make sure that as many doors were as open for me as possible to be able to choose and find what I loved. And I always just ended up picking the music doors and following that kind of path, be it through school choirs to the leading of the school band to Australian Girls Choir, also known as the Qantas Choir, so that I still call Australia, where I got to perform for President Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres, even the Pope in Rome at the Vatican, which is still one of my pinch me moments. And eventually I started my own solo songwriting career, because I believe that when words fail, music speaks. And I'd been playing the piano since the age of 2, and I found myself drawn to the keys, finding words when my heart was unbelievably broken or completely overwhelmed with joy and love. And I've been sharing music ever since, from Carnival Cruise Lines as a piano bar entertainer around Australia and the Turks and Caicos, all the way down to Australia, the Pacific Islands, in the middle of the ocean. It's been an incredible journey.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. If I'm understanding right, you guys are currently in lockdown, if I know this to be true.
We are, that's correct. We're in lockdown at the moment, and thankfully it's starting to ease a little bit. And thank goodness I am not a politician. I just like spreading good vibes, not spreading the virus. So I've been staying home and staying healthy and doing my part in the community. But at the moment, yeah, we are in lockdown. It means no live music. It's been definitely an interesting year. I like Keith Urban actually said it was an Etch-a-Sketch without one of the little knobs. And I found it challenging, but there's been a lot of opportunities and silver linings, I like to say, because, you know, I've had a lot of platforms to be able to share live music and share my journey and my music journey, and be able to create some long-lasting friendships on here. And then I've also been able to, you know, connect with people worldwide in a way that I didn't think was possible.
Would you say with lockdown, has it changed your mentality when it's come to songwriting or playing instruments at home?
Yes, I actually learned how to play guitar during lockdown, which was definitely an endeavor, and it led to a lot of really amazing times. But being in lockdown and just in the pandemic in general has allowed a lot more reflective moments in my life to be able to draw on emotions. I find myself absorbed in a specific moment in time, be it in my past, be it in my present, and on a specific relationship, be it with a family relationship, be it not a family member. And I'll find myself drawn to now the guitar or the piano, writing so many songs, and I am having a new issue of how to release all of these songs that I have now written and recorded with my incredible producer, Michael Carpenter.
Also with being in lockdown, has it opened up any other potential projects that you hadn't had the time for before this whole pandemic started?
Yes, the day that I was actually meant to leave for Hawaii on a cruise ship was the day that the borders got shut here in Australia. And so I had a lot of free time since then. And I was, you know, telling my family, I'll be gone in July, it'll be fine. That was not the case. And so I've been able to create live music sessions, which started down as quarantunes because we were in quarantine. And that's been, such a success for my heart personally, not just for this platform, to be able to actually share music every single week and kind of create a virtual piano bar experience, which I never thought was possible. So that was the first creative project. I've even had another live that I'd created called Wednesday Night Live, where it's completely unscripted. But it's not just lives that I've been working on. I've been creating projects all around about merchandise and creating a community and a place and a space that I can dedicate more time and more love to, and connect with people, even though we aren't physically connected due to the distance and due to the lockdowns. So I've created the Cassidy Rae Circle, and that's just been blowing up. I've even got so many mugs. It's been incredible, from the merchandise that I've created and the forever roses that I'm creating. So there's definitely been a lot of time for me to be creative, and I haven't tried to waste a single minute of it. That, and of course all the music, which is definitely counted as creative projects. I've released 3 songs this year, and I don't think I'm going to stop.
And I don't think anybody would want you to stop either.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, saying that, obviously I run on Spotify the ECFM New Stars, and I've hardly been able to keep up with adding new tracks as they come in, and I'm just like, I need help. Crazy. Can somebody take over this? I'm too busy to. But I mean,
it's crazy the amount of music that is being released worldwide, but it's also really inspiring to see that during hardship, people are turning to something that is so therapeutic and a way to connect that defies language and transcends borders and transcends separation, and it's a way to bring people close together. It really warms my heart, and it makes me very grateful to be able to say that I do this.
Who inspires you when it comes to music?
Musically, a lot of artists. I'm constantly inspired by songwriters like Taylor Swift or Carrie Underwood or Kelsey Ballerini or Carly Rae Pierce or Amber Lawrence or Fanny Lumsden. Female songwriters are so powerful to be able to share their story and share it in a very unique way that I'm drawn to. But in a business sense and in life in general, I'm constantly inspired by my mum. I think she's one of the greatest people that I've ever met, and she's one of my best friends, and I look up to her every single day.
That sounds absolutely lovely. What are you looking forward to once you're out of lockdown and you can go out and do gigs and things like that again?
Literally that, traveling. I am so missing being on the road. Right as lockdown started to ease here in Sydney earlier this year, I was able to actually go on what I created called a tea tour, where I just went and had a tea with everybody around Australia, Queensland, South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales, and it was so much fun. It actually had to be cancelled midway through due to the lockdowns being reinforced again. So I cannot wait to go back out on tour and perform and get to meet some more of my friends that I've been connecting with online during these lockdowns, and also go back out and travel overseas. My goodness, I was loving those years when I was on a piano bar cruise ship and I was able to travel the world and share my original songs with thousands of people every single night. So I'm looking forward to traveling, I think, is the majority of the list and the priority of the list, because I have so many more songs that I want to be able to share, and I want to make the most of the songs that I have created and let as many people hear them as possible.
Of course, and that again, that's the intent of the playlist I run, that it brings artists such as yourself to the world stage and says, "Hello, I'm here, and this is what I'm about." For
it
those,
really makes a difference, those playlists. We super appreciate them.
For those who don't know, what's life like when you're working on cruises?
Busy, but pinch me moments. And I think my life has been, I'm very grateful to have had a lot of pinch me moments. I've been able to perform to literally thousands of people night after night. And normally a day would be waking up around either 7 a.m. if it's a really cool island that I get to explore, or around midday because it's been a long night. I'll get to explore an island hop, as they like to say. And I've been to Cozumel, I've been to the Grand Turks, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to Nassau, and I can't say Nassau, I have to say Nassau. I've been to so many beautiful, incredible places and actually experienced different cultures and jump off waterfalls, climb up waterfalls, visit Aztec ruins, or swim with wild stingrays. It's been incredible. And then with an evening, I get to call a piano bar my own home and mine. And so I have a room full of people that just are in a good mood to sing at the top of their lungs all the way through the night. And, you know, some of the best times are actually just sitting and sharing stories. I actually had an amazing heart-touching moments where guests that had become friends, where they would come up to me and ask me what my original songs were and ask to hear the stories, and they would go and find internet when they'd reached the islands and look up the lyrics, so the following night they can come back to my piano bar and actually sing my songs back to me, that they loved it so much. You know, that honestly warms my heart so much and brings tears to my eyes that people really connect with that. So that's kind of what life is like as a piano bar entertainer, is just constantly singing, having a great time, getting to explore and travel and make so many new friends, which is kind of what national touring is like as well.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely fantastic as ever, and something I love as well. Have you ever had a show that's gone either technically wrong or veered off in a different direction to what you were expecting?
Constantly, not just here in Australia, but especially on cruise ships. You never know what sort of audience you're going to get. And that definitely taught me about, it's not performing to someone, it's performing with someone. And it changed my whole outlook on why I do music. You know, before I became a piano bar entertainer, I always thought music was so therapeutic and music was almost selfish because I love it and I get to do what I love. But being a piano bar entertainer and getting to share my music to hundreds of people every single night, it became about those moments and those connections. And from that grew a lot of stories, especially this one song called Wagon Wheel that I love to cover. And I actually learned the song while I was on a cruise ship. And the way I would learn a lot of different songs at a time is I would either, you know, learn them, or I would make up moves in my head to them. And so I actually chose the latter option for Wagon Wheel and ended up making moves to all of the different words so I could remember them and perform them that night. And I thought, I've come a long way. I want people to join in the moves with me. And still to this day, I have people all around the world, my friends, doing southbound train movements with me, singing and dancing along. And it brings me back to nearly every single night that I've played Wagon Wheel since learning it. It's been one of my most requested covers as well, I should say. So definitely a lot more than once has a night of performing been derailed from what I thought it would be, from just sitting down, sharing my songs, or standing up and sharing my songs. That, you know, I've had possums walk up to me while I'm performing down in Melbourne, or I've had, you know, one of my very first performances that I did, I had the music and the electricity in the entire building complex that I was in just completely shut off, and a room full of guests at a restaurant that I was performing at, and I just kept playing and singing a cappella. And thank goodness my piano was battery charged back then, so I could just keep playing. And it was definitely entertaining, and people were singing Piano Man with me. So there's always been mishaps, but honestly, I never think of them as like bad moments. They're always just really funny and super memorable.
That is so true. And I love the fact that when you were saying about when the power went out, it's like somebody had the cheek to overload it, but you made a moment out of it. You didn't just go, no, can't keep going, but you found a way to push forward.
If anything, it brought everybody closer together. And at that time, I was actually still learning Piano Man, especially the lyrics. To me, I just kept stuffing everything up and, you know, bread in my bra and not bread in the jar. And I was getting everything that I could mixed up. And so everybody started helping me sing this song. I still can remember that evening quite clearly. A lot of fun.
It doesn't matter. Probably people were laughing with you instead of at you.
Oh, 100% with me. Maybe I was laughing at me, but it was with me.
I mean, probably the only technical problem that I've had was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was on drive home on the radio, and in the last half hour of lunchtime, power went out. So we're still, so lunchtime would fit it. We have an emergency system which kicks in if the power goes out, which is great, but it just means that nobody can actually hear what's actually going out.
Well, goodness grace, what happened?
Well, we were stood around waiting for about an hour, thinking, oh, it'll be fine, the power will come back on soon. And it must have been about 3:30, 4:45 in the afternoon. It finally got power was back on again, and the computers were starting up. And what I literally had to do was keep hold of my colleague who was next to me, going, right, I need you to put this track on the CD, and we'll keep going until I can get back to the show that I planned. We'll manage. So all the while I'm talking on the air, and every so often, yeah, I need track nine, and yeah, and somehow, and then as soon as the system and it was back online, it was great. I was able to go back. I didn't lose the show that I'd already put together. It was there ready to. I could just jump in and pick up where I should have been, rather than from all the way from the start, which was it was an interesting one to
Definitely
sure.
Interesting, and those are the times that make it most memorable, and you just gotta laugh sometimes.
Oh, but we made it work, and it was fun times as ever. I mean,
2 years ago, it's awesome that it hasn't happened since, knock on wood.
I have missed doing radio over the past year, I will admit that, because obviously you know that I've been out there on the front line looking after everybody through the night and making sure that everybody's safe and adhering to social distancing. Because we are, as far as I'm aware, out of lockdown. But obviously for those,
fantastic to hear.
It's still easing off, and we're still expected to wear face coverings when we go into enclosed spaces or on public transport, but there's less expectation of you need to stay at home whenever you're not working or whatnot. I mean, I don't go out when it's my day, go anywhere when it's my day off if I don't need to, because I think I could do that when I'm either coming back or to work. So
I totally understand. I've been finding my life is very much home-based unless I actually want to travel or, need to travel. Thankfully, a lot of what I do can be done from home, although it has definitely been interesting trying to shoot a music video for this latest song. It's finally just shot.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that one then, because I saw the one for, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the
Dose of You had the hamburger at the end, and Chisel was the first time I've ever been able to actually create a Zoom music video. There have been a lot of songs this year though, so
it was the one where you're on the beach.
That's I'm on vacation. Seriously, so many incredible songs. And working with my videographers, I've worked with Jackson Speed for nearly a decade now, so we've done 6, nearly 7 music videos together. It's definitely been a whirlwind, always trying to create something new and step out of our comfort zones, and something that is visually attached to the song and represents the music. So I'm on vacation was a lot of fun to kind of create an escape from office and literally step out onto the beach and step into vacation. Definitely, I wish that would actually be true.
So have I many times when I've been at work. I'm just like, I wish if I walked out that door, it would lead me somewhere else rather than here. But
it was like Narnia, except a vacation.
actually, this is the thing. I actually remember the original Nine because I actually had the videotaped, and I
Oh, no way.
watched them to death as a kid. I mean, of course, I've seen some of the new films, but it's nothing on the absolute original, which is fantastic as ever. Because we had a
Always
whole
gonna love
whole
those stories.
a whole basket full of videotapes that we would sit and watch, and it was fun as anything.
As it should be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where am I going now? Yeah. So, with you saying you're hoping to be back on tour in the next once lockdown eases, where is it you hope to go?
Everywhere and anywhere that I'm allowed to, honestly. I used to have a saying, have keyboard will travel. Now it is have car will travel. I'll bring everything with me. But honestly, I was absolutely having a ball being able to travel up and down the eastern states of Australia. I've always wanted to go to Northern Territory and actually drive around Western Australia. So definitely those are on the next to-dos list. But honestly, I just love to connect with my friends that I've been, getting to share a lot of time with online during these lockdowns, and I'd love to have a couple with them in person.
Is there anyone that you would love to work with if you could?
Taylor Swift, no question. I think she's an incredible songwriter and a beautiful soul, and what she does for her fans is above and beyond. And I also love her musicality. I think she's constantly evolving and writing stories that are inspiring and relatable. I'd love to be able to work with her, just meet her a little bit closer than I did when I was at her show, just a little bit.
I could definitely understand that one. You said when you were younger you were part of a choir as well, weren't you?
I was firstly a part of the school choir, but when my school had its first ever musical, it was a new school. I was one of the female leads of this junior school musical, as we like to call it. And after the performance, my music teacher actually came up to my parents and suggested that I audition for the Australian Girls Choir, known as the Qantas Choir. And I opened that door and never looked back. I ended up spending 6 years with the Australian Girls Choir and got to perform literally around the world. I went on a national tour. I was selected out of 3,500 girls to be one of 50 to travel to Paris, Italy, and Hong Kong when I was 15, which is so surreal that a 15-year-old gets to say that she went to Paris and performed at Disneyland steps and got to travel around Italy with host families and sing, in the Vatican or in the Colosseum, and then go to Hong Kong. Like it was incredible. And then the people that I got to meet and perform with, it's definitely been a journey and full of music, which has always been a love of mine.
That sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, back when I was in high school, I was part of the school choir, and I can sing, but I'm not polished and perfect. But we used to do Christmas carol services with in the church, and it was fun. And even now, I love to sing whenever I've got my earphones in. And people have asked me, saying, why do you sing? I was like, because I love to sing. Is that a crime?
Some people just find their passion early on in life, and I was really grateful to have found my love of music when I did at such a young age. And it was definitely surreal to be singing with Ellen DeGeneres as she entered Sydney Airport at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and then drive back to school and have a math test, and everybody else was like studying in their textbooks, and they said, what did you do this morning? And I was like, I just sung Land Down Under with Ellen DeGeneres, no big deal. But it kind of inspired me to start my own choir. So I ended up becoming the youth ambassador of my community here in Sydney, Australia. And they were extremely benevolent and gave me free rein for the year, not just to attend community and council events, but to also fill a need that I saw within the community. And I found that while I had these amazing opportunities with the Australian Girls Choir, there were some students that loved music and weren't able to, be it their gender, or simply because, you know, they weren't aware or they weren't in the vicinity to join the Australian Girls Choir. I actually created the Sydney Hills Youth Choir, which was a free choir sponsored by my council. And they got to perform all around Sydney at council and community events, including one of the biggest shows here in Sydney called the Sydney Family Show, and also an award ceremony. So, you know, I wanted to provide an opportunity for the people that loved music just as much as I did.
That sounds absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure inspiring for anyone who's out there thinking of starting a career in music. And what would you be, I'll try again. What would be your advice for someone who was thinking of starting out?
I think the most important piece of advice I could give is stay true to yourself. There are so many different waves to ride and so many different trends to follow. And I think if you stay true to your reason why you're doing it and stay true to the heart and the soul of your passion and your purpose and be true to yourself, you know, you can create your own wave, and it doesn't matter if you aren't on every single trend or every single wave. You find and attract people who are there for you and want to support you. So that would be my advice. Stay true to yourself.
And with that, we're going to bring this to a close. And for anybody who wants to find you on social media, where can they find you?
Easiest place is my website. It's kind of the home base for everything, which is www.cassidy-rae.com. They can join it and they can get cookie recipes, because I love cookies, and they can also get emails and keep up to date, but also they'll have access to all my different socials, be it Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Snapchat or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn, or everything that they have, I have, and I'd love to be their friend. I go live every single week just to chat with people, so they can find all the details there on my website.
Lovely, thank you very much. And as ever, you can be able to find links to all our guests' social media on my Facebook page, Ben Dyson on 107.6 ECFM. Go ahead and take a look. And if you're ever looking for some new music, go to Spotify and look up ECFM New Stars. There's a whole host of music from great artists on there, such as Cassidy Rae, Countermeasure, Eden James, Joe Clarkson, to name a few. And as I say, once again, a big thanks to Cassidy, who will be, you're welcome back anytime.
Bless your heart, thank you.
Just let me know, and if you want to perform again on the next time, say just let me know.
I love that idea. Let's do it.
And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.